welcome back to the Media Unrestricted Podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Dylan.
And on this week's episode, we got a few different topics going on, but first, I wanted to thank everyone for their support on the Scream 25th Anniversary Out of the Theater Thoughts video. We are at, I think we gained 5 or 6 new subscribers, and we are over 500 views. Me and Dylan both really appreciate the support. I had no idea that after when we made that video that we would get all that support and everything. So I really appreciate it. I know Dylan, he appreciates it as well. We thank you, and we hope you enjoy for the new followers. So let's get right down to it and actually get into more Scream news. And as we talked about, that Scream trailer was dated to come out Tuesday, and it did. And in my opinion, it delivered. After the screening, I went on YouTube and found the trailer. Kind of, I don't know where it was, but it was like in Spanish. So some theater did show it, but from what I got a good, and it was the exact same thing. But even already know, I kind of seeing some of it, I still love this trailer so much. And it all gets started with the phone ringing, and I forgot, should have looked up the girl's name, but she clicks it off and hangs up. But she's texting one of her friends, and she asks like, "How do you know my phone line is ringing?" And then she said, because she said, "You want to pick it up?" And I said, and then she goes, "Well, this is not Amber." I think that's what her name was, Amber. And then she goes to the door, and then she gets stabbed, and then the door kind of like locks, unlocks, kind of with that, where you can do it where yourself, which was really cool. And then she's like going back, and then Ghostface gets her from behind. And then it cuts to Sydney out for a jog, and Sheriff Dewey gives a call, saying that it's starting all over again, but this one just seems different. And he asks, "Do you have a gun?" And she said, "I'm Sydney Prescott, so of course I have a gun." That's really cool. Then there's like different shots of the new cast of victims for the Scream. We got Dylan Minnette and I think Jenny, I think Ortega, I think is her name. Might be wrong, but like everybody likes different shots of them. And then we see Sydney and Gail reunited. Looks like maybe they're outside a house, maybe Stu's house. Um, and Sydney asked Gail, "Are you ready?" And she said, "For this, never." Um, and then the kills are being they have a saying that the kills are being on people who are related to the original killers, which is kind of the big line to take from this, like because I believe that's how the Stu's house, everything is going to come together, is with that. And then we get a great shot of Dewey and Ghostface, like in, it looks like a school hallway, walking like towards each other. That was really cool. That's actually, I think, my favorite shot from the trailer. I really like that, kind of their face off, like meet your foe. It's really cool. And then Sydney says that she won't sleep until he's in the ground. And then we have lots of shots of like the bloodbath that's going to be coming. And then the final shot is Sydney and Ghostface, and Ghostface says, "Hello, Sydney. It's an honor." Um, that's how it ends. Yeah, my excitement level for this is high, and I knew it would be to start off, but it's definitely high. Movie drops January 14th. I can't wait. And there also is, they released a poster, which they showed that night. You could unlock it, but it's out officially. So Dylan will show it real quick with the tagline, "It's always someone you know," um, which is awesome. I love that tagline. I love this poster. It's not. It's kind of simple, but it does everything perfect. I love it. It's great. Um, Dylan, I would love to hear, what is your thoughts?
Yeah, the trailer, in my opinion, was everything that it needed to be. Like, it got me so hype. Like a lot of other fans who reacted to it on YouTube, it really upped my hype level. And while I was watching the trailer, I did get goosebumps, especially seeing some familiar faces and other stuff that I know in the Scream franchise. It's incredible. I really like the more serious tone that this movie seems like it's going towards. I know Scream is known for being like kind of campy and has some comedy in it. I'm glad they're toning the comedy down for this one. I'm really super interested in seeing like a kind of serious Scream movie that really goes back to the series roots, and this really feels like it does, especially going back to some like original iconic locations in Woodsboro. So I can't wait to see what they do with that. And yeah, with the in regards to the poster, I do like it too. Like it's simplistic, but it's what it needs to be too. Like you don't need like a super flashy poster with everybody on it. You can have a simple poster like this with Ghostface figure right there with his knife and everything, and it just looks incredible in my opinion.
Moving on to some Halloween news, actually. There is a petition going around from this article also comes from Screen Geek, by the way. It is going around a petition to remove the firefighter scene in Halloween Kills. I saw this thing came over the weekend or just Monday or Tuesday, one of the days. Um, I saw this and it kind of was like it's one of those things. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you serious? But what's going on? There is somebody who wants this scene removed, and there's a quote that they said on the petition and everything, and this is what it says. Um, I want the scene in the new movie Halloween Kills where they show the slaughtering of firefighters. It is wrong because firefighters have been lured to the house's fire and murdered by the person who set the fire. And it is wrong that Michael killed the firefighter with the gear from the other firefighters he killed. As a soon-to-be firefighter, I find it very offensive, and so does my mom and dad, who are retired firefighters. He also went to say in it, so I want the scene taken out of the movie. Michael didn't have to kill them in a way they saved him, so he should have saved the two firefighters in the house and went on his way to kill his sister. There is no reason for this horrible, disgusting scene, especially since it has happened in real life. Like I said before, firefighters have been lured to house fires and killed by some psycho in real life. Um, so that's what they had to say. Um, I really think this is just taken way out of proportion by this person. I mean, I understand, but there is a reason Michael is killing these firefighters. Because, I mean, they are at the thing to save him, yes. But Michael Myers is not going to be like, oh, thank you, and just walk away. That's just not him. That's just dumb for this person to even think that. I mean, and the thing is, this is just a movie. That's it. It's just a movie. Nothing else. I mean, you don't need to take it. I just feel like people these days, they always just got something to complain about. But just, it's just a movie. That's it, folks. I don't know, Dylan, what's your thoughts on this? I'd love to know. But man, this is insane that someone just is taking this out of proportion. I mean, there is a another petition out there that is trying to get rid of this one. So I mean, people understand that this is just dumb, and the one that's trying to get rid of it has more signatures than this one. It's just crazy, just to know. But I mean, Dylan, what is your thoughts?
Well, in my opinion, I agree with you. This is taken way out of proportion. I understand this person's feelings kind of about this happening to people in real life, but a lot of things that happen to people in real life that happen in movies. Are you going to do petitions for every other movie where stuff happens to people? No, you won't. Like, let's see. Uh, if a car explodes in a movie, are you going to have a petition for them to take that scene out? Because people die in car explosions all the time. Like, there's car accidents in movies. Are you going to have a petition to take them out? Or is it just singled out because this person is going into this profession and it only offends them? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I think this goes into, like what's offending people so much these days, and it's just like it's just getting to the point where it's ridiculous. And obviously they're not going to entertain this petition, as they shouldn't. I think this person's just being a little butthurt when they shouldn't be. So this petition will more than likely get ignored, as it should.
Yeah, but I mean, whether or not people want to see this such violence or not, I mean, Halloween Kills will be arriving soon, and it will be Michael Myers on another bloody rampage. So, audience, brace yourselves and get ready for another bloody entry in the long-running Halloween franchise. Like we've heard, a big body count in this one. The movie drops this Friday. Um, Me and Dylan will be seeing it this Thursday, tomorrow at 7:30. So be on the lookout for our fresh out of the theater after the video. I can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to see this movie. Really, really getting excited for it. So I cannot wait to bring you on that. But yeah, this is, like I said, I think just put out just a little too far for. Like I said, I don't know if this is a real fan or if they're just thing, but just don't analyze it. It's just a movie. That's it.
Well, Chase, that's another thing too that I gathered while reading that quote. I don't think I think this is somebody who hasn't watched the movies in years. I don't think they watched the 2018 one, because they referred to Lori as his sister, because he said help the firefighters and then go after his sister. She's not his sister in this timeline. So this person, I don't even think is a fan of these movies. They just want something to complain about. So I don't know. It's just kind of annoying.
And moving on to our next topic comes from Deadline. Adam Warlock has been casted. Sources with tell Deadline that Will Poulter, I might be saying his name wrong, but he has landed the role of Warlock in Marvel's anticipated sequel, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, uh, which James Gunn is returning to direct. Um, the character was first teased in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 when Aisha, I think is her name, unveils to her chambered the chamber that she had, like she made to destroy the Guardians. I mean, so we haven't heard anything since then. So it's kind of like one of those things I thought we forgot about. But people have been waiting for it and everything. Um, Gunn and like all the executives, they had a lengthy search for someone to play him. I remember, I think Zac Efron was wanting to be one and all that. So uh, they met with Will, and um, they just knew that this was the guy they wanted. And you know what? I mean, I really think it could be all right. He kind of has the Adam Warlock look to him. I mean, I haven't really read any comics or anything Warlock is in. I did read like the around Infinity War time, the Infinity Saga or whatever that book was, which was good. I know he's in there for a little bit and a key in the story. But he could nail it. I know he was in We Are the Millers. He was the son. He's not much I know, but I am willing to definitely give this guy a shot. Um, all like the details and everything and the plot are under lock, and probably won't find anything about that. Production, I think, is supposed to start until November, so probably know anything here for a couple months. But um, I'm willing to definitely give this guy a try. I think he could nail it because I say he's got the look to him. So, Dylan, what did you think about this pick?
I think it's a great pick. Will Poulter is an amazing actor. He's been in a lot of things. Most recently, one of the things I've seen him in is actually a game called the Dark Pictures Anthology Little Hope, which is the Dark Pictures Anthology is like Until Dawn. Uh, the other game, I forgot what it's called, about the ship, and then Little Hope. And in Little Hope, like, he is completely motion captured, and it's like it's 100% his face and everything in the game, and I think he does an excellent job in that game. Like you said, he's also in We're the Millers and just a few other things, and he's a fantastic actor, and I think he's going to do fantastic in this role, and I just cannot wait to see how he does. I'm so excited for this.
And moving on, I saw there is a Home Alone reboot. Um, I was gonna kind of do a thing, but I'm not gonna talk about it because I kind of saw it as Home Sweet Home Alone. Um, I think this is a ridiculous idea. Um, You don't need to do this to, well, at least the first two are one of my favorite Christmas holiday films. You don't need to reboot it. I don't know why movies think they have to. Um, I don't think you need to, definitely with this one. So I've got no thoughts on it. I just think it's a dumb idea. But Dylan, if you have any quick thoughts, I would love to hear what you got on this, man.
I just actually watched the trailer, and I didn't. I'm gonna be in the minority here. I know everyone's always like, we don't need reboots. I'm gonna watch one and two instead. You massacred my boy. All this stuff. I watched the trailer. It does look almost like a shot-for-shot remake of the original, but it doesn't look terrible. It has the girl who played Aaron from The Office in it. She's one of the burglars along with this other guy. And one of the shots in the trailer you actually see is a guy who gets out of a truck or a police car, it looks like, and on a name tag it says McAllister. And it really looks like the guy who played Buzz in the original one. So I'm wondering if maybe this isn't a reboot, if more like a reboot-quel, like a reboot sequel, because it looked like that might have been Buzz in the trailer. I could be wrong, but it seriously did. So I'm honestly interested in checking it out. I know you had your thoughts on it, but I might be interested in checking this out because it seems like it could be interesting. So I might check it out when it comes out just to see how it is.
And moving on to our last movie topic, the box office numbers. No Time to Die came in at number one, which is no surprise. At 55 million, everyone was really anticipating the new James Bond installment since it was Daniel Craig's last one, um, and it rocked it. It didn't have the I don't think it had the number they were anticipating. I think they were anticipating over 100 million to start. Um, Dylan, you may know if I'm right or wrong on that one, but they didn't. I don't think they got as much as they want. Definitely didn't get much as Venom. Venom had 90 million, so that's kind of surprised to me on that one. But Let There Be Carnage was just right there behind it with 31 million. I mean, it's still definitely a different, wider margin, but still hanging around. I'm glad still people went out there and supported it and didn't have a big drop. Um, Adam's Family came in at number three with 10 million. Shang-Chi still hanging around with 4 million. And the Many Saints of Newark came in at with 1 million. So I think everything kind of there. Free Guy I think went to 6. So everything else kind of in the 3, 4, and 5 is kind of right about where it should be. But this week's going to be interesting with Halloween Kills coming out. If people are going to go out to the theaters, which I think they will, and see it there, or if they're going to stay home and watch it on Peacock, and see how it stacks up with Bond. Is Bond going to have a good second week, or is Halloween Kills going to knock it out like I think it should and will? We'll find out. I think I'm really excited to look at these numbers next week and see where we are. And moving on to the TV show news. I don't know if Dylan got a chance to see it, but I got a chance to see the first episode of the Chucky show. Um, Death by Misadventure was the first one. Um, and overall, I think the show was pretty decent. It's not too bad. Don Mancini still, um, he created Chucky. I don't think he directed. I think he's the characters. That's his character. He's still here. Brad Dourif's still here. It's so awesome to see him. I can't wait to see the girl who played Kyle in Child's Play 2 and the boy from the original, the first two, coming back. But all that happened in the episode, 14-year-old Jake Weber, he purchased the Good Guy doll from like a yard sale. Um, and later that night, his cousin, Junior, and his family came over for dinner. Um, and Chucky murdered, why is that? Murdered his cat upstairs. And this causes Jake's dad to sell the doll, tell him to get rid of it, and he had like because Jake does like puts dolls like sculptures and things, and he goes up there and destroys it. Um, but he takes the doll to school, uh, where Junior's girlfriend kind of sees him with it and makes fun of him, and she actually makes a GoFundMe page to get out of his financial struggles and make a joke of him. Um, and then during there was a school talent show, um, and Chucky comes to life and like starts like making fun of Lexi, like as a ventriloquist thing. That was really funny. There's a lot of good lines from that that people need to see. But then he goes home. Then he gets an argument with his dad, um, and Jake wishes that his dad would just die. Um, and so that's what Chucky does. Like the power goes out, and his dad goes down there to fix, like check it out and everything. But Chucky murders him by like I think like kind of like vomit or something like that, and like with the water, and it just electrocutes him with that. So then Jake has to go live with Junior and his family and everything. But then Chucky comes to life and talks to Jake and tells him that he wants to kill Lexi and where can he find her. And that's how the first episode ends. I really love that he's going to go after Lexi because she's really an ass of a character. Um, I just can't wait to see how the rest of the show plays out because this is definitely a great first episode. Lots of fun. Like I said, Brad Dourif he's just Chucky. It's just awesome to hear his voice again. So I don't know if you got to see it, Dylan. I'd love to know what you thought.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. Although I wouldn't say it's just a decent show. I'd say it's great so far. Like this first episode is like it really puts you into the Chucky mood, if that makes sense. Like you don't get too little Chucky or too much like oversaturation. You get just enough. Like in my opinion, Chucky reveals himself at the exact moment he needed to. That and the fact of Chucky coupled um with the kids like out like feeling of being an outcast and all that will probably play really well into Chucky. And I'm gonna say something that that 3C Films brought up. Chris of C3 Films brought up in his breakdown. Uh, I can really see Jake like going kind of evil at some point in the series, and then maybe being brought back towards the end, because if he like does go with Chucky and starts doing some stuff, that would be kind of cool in my opinion. Like sure we've had Tiffany as like a human woman there with Chucky killing people with him, but like it would be kind of cool if we had just like someone down to earth like Jake here just start doing it with him. It would be really interesting. Like just to see where all that goes and how all of this plays out. I'm super excited to see where the show's going to go.
And moving on to our last topic, our fun question of the day. I wanted to do our top three favorite horror games of all time. Number one for me, and number three is Alien Isolation. I never beat this game. It's still a game I'd love to beat sometime, but it is really hard and kind of long. But it's lots of fun. It's really keeps it on the edge of your seat. Really suspenseful. Just nailed it. I mean, if you ever, I know a lot of people have Alien Colonial Marines. That game is a joke and is bad, but this is the top Alien game of all time. It may not be like a prefer Predator over Alien, like I do. But this is definitely an awesome game. I love it. I love, like I said, the suspense and just this game makes you think and it works. It's so great. Number two, Dino Crisis. I think I've talked about this before. This is one of my favorite PS1 games of all time. I remember playing this at a babysitter. I love dinosaurs, but this game is just so nostalgic. Just that it's Resident Evil with dinosaurs, and it's so cool. I always wanted to see like a remake or a movie or something like this would work well as a movie. But I just love Dino Crisis. It's so fun. I actually just beat it. I mean, it took me years and years to beat it, and more or less, I only beat it just because I looked it up online on how to beat it. But I love this game. If no one's ever played Dino Crisis, definitely, if you like dinosaurs, Jurassic Park, whatever, Resident Evil, whatever, play this game. This game is really good. It's really expensive, but if you can get a copy, I definitely recommend playing this game. Number one is just nostalgic to me. It's the same. I played this at a babysitter. Resident Evil 3. I don't know. I always loved this one. This was always my favorite Resident Evil game of all time. I think it's because of Nemesis. Nemesis is my favorite character in the Resident Evil like franchise, movies, games, whatever. He's always my favorite. Um, I don't know. I just always loved the city atmosphere, everything about this. Because I finally reunited with the game on PS1 when I was working at Super Mega Replay about 6 years ago, I think. About four, no, about 3 or 4 years ago. And it was just such a great way back. Just remembering this game. It's so fun. It's really not even like too. I mean, it is an expensive game, but it's not too hard to find. And then I played the reboot, which was good. It's not as good, but it was short. I really prefer the PS1 version. But if you can get any of these games, which like I said, some of them are easier to get than others, I definitely recommend them. And Dylan, what is your top favorite three horror video games?
Thank you, Chase. And I'm going to get right into mine. Mine aren't in any particular order like yours are. As you all can see on the screen, the first one I'm going to bring to you is Outlast. Now, the majority of you know what this game is. And for those of you who don't, you get the game starts off by getting a mysterious email from someone who works inside of the mental hospital. And you're a reporter named Miles Upshur, and you go to the hospital to try to record some evidence to try to get the hospital shut down, I believe is what the story is. And the whole game just takes place inside the mental hospital, and it's all dark, and you can only see through the night vision on your camera and all this, and you got to pick up batteries and stuff like that. And you can obviously see, with the majority of the game being in the dark, and you have to see through your night vision camera, how scary it can be sometimes. And on the screen you can see this big bulky guy right here behind the Outlast logo, and he really chases you around through a lot of the game, and he is absolutely fucking terrifying, especially the way he talks and stuff, and you got to hide from him and everything. This is just a great game that I highly recommend you check out, as well as the prequel DLC. And Outlast 2 isn't bad either, so I mean, try out Outlast 2 as well if once you finish Outlast, the first Outlast. But Outlast 1 is one of my favorite horror games. Moving on to number 2, we have Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Now, for those of you who watched YouTube back in the early 2010s, you know this game was absolutely everywhere. And that's how this game was brought to my attention, was whenever Markiplier and PewDiePie and all of them played it. Back then, I was a huge PewDiePie fan. I watched all of his videos religiously. And he played all of Amnesia: The Dark Descent. He even played like fan-made levels and stuff like that. And that's really where my interest in it came from, and I started to play it myself back in like 2013, 14, and it was absolutely terrifying, especially with like, if you're in the dark, your sanity goes down, so you have to light candles and find oil for your lamp and everything. And this monster on the screen here, like, it chases you around if your sanity's too low, and it can kill you. Like, it's just an interesting game with interesting puzzles and mechanics, and it's just got a really good horror atmosphere that I think the majority of people will enjoy. And now moving on to my last game, that is Dead Space. Now, I started playing Dead Space about, I'm going to say, a few months ago, and as of right now, I'm only to chapter 9. And yeah, this game is pretty scary, especially because like, the majority of the game does take place in some dark areas. There's some like atmospheric lighting here and there from like overhead lights and stuff, but it leaves just enough darkness to where you can be spooked by something jumping out at you. And like, sometimes, like, with the way the camera is, it's like the over the shoulder third person view, like in Resident Evil 4, and you don't know when something's going to creep up behind you. And like, all of that added together, especially with the fact the majority of the game is in silence, is super creepy. And all of the like zombie monster necromorphs, or whatever they're called, are completely scary. And like, there are some that transform right in front of you and stuff, and then they immediately start coming at you. And If you pick the wrong if you pick a high difficulty, you will be really limited on ammo. So you'll have to figure all that out. And I have a lot of issues with this game personally. I'm not going to go into them. I just think the game is too long. That's my one of my only issues with the game. Like I like all of the other mechanics and stuff. The shooting is fun. The game is just too long in my opinion. I thought it was 8 chapters, but it's 12, and I'm only on chapter 9. So I think I'm just gonna stop after chapter 9 and just look up the rest of it online because I just don't want to go through it for 3 more chapters. It's just too long. But other than that, I do think it's a good game. All my criticisms aside, because a lot of people really love this game, and I can definitely see why because it does have a really good horror element, and I'm interested to see where it goes in the sequels. I'll need to check those out after I see how Dead Space 1 ends.
And thank you for listening to this week's episode. We really appreciate it. And again, thank you to all the support on our last video and gaining new subscribers. We really appreciate you guys joining us. We hope you like our future stuff. We will definitely be talking more Scream for sure. That is definitely going to be coming down the line. Thank you again. We really appreciate it. We will be back with you on Thursday night. Talk a little Halloween Kills with that review. I'm excited to see the movie. I know Dylan is as well. So we will talk to you all then.